It is a baseball card mail day. Now, a few days ago, I bought a stack of 100 commons from 1979 or 78 tops, and it was less than $10. And when I went to the stack, there were some Hall of Famers in there, and Willie McCovey, Dennis Eckersley, Willie Stargell. There's a Lou Brock, but my mother-in-law already took that one. Even though she's not a Cardinals fan, I'm not really sure why she wanted it. So I decided to search for some other vintage Hall of Famers, and so I bought two things, and one of them arrived today. I thought they were both going to arrive today, so I'm going to add on to this video after the second one comes in. But let's go ahead and open this up, and it's been a few days since I ordered this, and I don't even remember who all is going to appear in this envelope, but let's go ahead and get it open. Looks like we've got a team set. Now, this is not all Hall of Famers, but they are all vintage, like the 1960 Topps card that we see on the front here. Yeah, I should take just a moment and get all the tape off of this first. Alright, so if I remember, this was a stack of 1960 Topps cards, and so let's, they had it taped to inside of a team bag, and inside two top loaders, which are going to have so much tape on them I can't really get anything out of that. But let's see who we've got here. And I like this 1960 Topps design with the nice alternating color letters that are on here. So we've got, and I'm not going to recognize most of these people, but Felix Mantilla, Roy Face, Dutch Dotterer, Eddie Fisher, Dick Gray, Milt Pappas, Jim Grant, Wally Post, Pete Runnels. Now there are some people in here I do recognize. Ernie Broglio, Joe Adcock, Wally Moon, Lou Berberet, Faye Throneberry, Bud Daly, Bobby Locke, Joe Cunningham, Barry Latman, a Washington Senators team card, Roman Mejias, George Anderson, Russ Nixon, Bill Bruton, Earl Averill, Jerry Casale, O'Toole and Veda Pinson. Let's see who the O'Toole. Jim O'Toole and Veda Pinson. Tom Morgan, Roy Sievers, Tito Francona, I believe that's Terry Francona's dad, maybe? Dick Drott. Okay, so who is the Hall of Famer in all of that? Well, in case you didn't recognize the name, Sparky Anderson, back when he was a second baseman. Now, fortunately, I didn't realize there's going to be a crease in that one, since it is the probably the best card in here, but there you go. So when the next envelope comes in, I'll just add on to this video. In the last couple of days, I've been doing some organizing. With the cards I've been buying this year, I've been using the last couple of days to organize a lot of the things that have come in. So this is all stuff that's come in on previous videos, and I didn't want to move all that just to open today's envelope. Now, this is not the one that I said was coming in the mail. The other one that I ordered, it's been over a week, and with the post office these days, things running slow, it has not come in. But this was another, not a Hall of Famer, but another vintage order that came in, and here we have a 1960 Don Larson. That's certainly the highlight of this stack. Not a Hall of Famer, but many people know who that is, Mr. playoff perfect game there. Next we have Don Budden, Valmy Thomas, manager of the Kansas City A's, Bob Elliott, and finally Billy Pierce. Now these are all low-grade cards, or sort of banged up, but all from 1960. But I got a pretty good price on these, and for something this old, I'm happy if I can get someone with a name I recognize for in a small eBay lot. I go through eBay and see what's about to what auctions are about to end that have zero bids and at a low price, and that's how I found this one. And I'm mostly looking for at least one athlete I know. So we'll add these on top of the Decal Edge Clemente back here to add to my vintage stack, which is, I'm going to slow down on buying a lot of this stuff and focus more on that. So I still have one more package that I'm going to add on here at the end of this video, once it comes in. It's been another day, and the envelope I'm waiting for is finally come in. This one will be something different than 1960 Topps. Thanks for the order. All right, you're welcome. That is, if the order comes in like it was supposed to. And this is actually, again, not the order I was expecting for. This was another, not a Hall of Famer, but it is a star of the early 60s. We have Gil Hodges, longtime Dodger, I think, but in this case was the manager of the Senators. The better known manager of the Senators around that time was Ted Williams, but I saw this card for about 75 cents, and I got it. Came with a second card of Ed Brinkman. All right, so I'm still waiting for one more vintage package to come in. Well, another 3 days have gone by, and I still don't have the vintage cards that I was waiting on, but a couple other things came in the mail. I've got, first of all, there was a purchase that I made that came with a stack of these 1990 Topps. I think these are called headliners, and there were only 24 in the set, so most of them were pretty big names like McGuire and whatnot. I picked Jim Abbott to show on camera because he was the starter and the losing pitcher in the first Major League game I ever went to, when he went to pitch against my Rangers in 1991. But the thing that I'm mostly going to show in this part of the video is I purchased off of eBay a stack. Someone's had a stack of about 200 vintage 70s and older cards. They said that these were in poor condition, but with the grainy photo, you couldn't really tell on it. And there are also some cards that dated back to the 60s, and I even saw one or two that went back to the 50s. And I thought it looked like a pretty good pickup for 20 bucks. And so you couldn't even tell everyone that was going to be in here based on the picture. So let's take a look at what we have. We've got Mike Cubbage, Rudy May, 75, Mike Norris. Got an old football card of John David Crow, Sparky Lyle, I think that's 73. Hockey player from OPC, Dick Drago from 73. J.R. Richard, pretty good pitcher from the Astros back then. That's certainly in poor shape with the tape on it of Bob Tolan. Next we have, let's see, Rick Stelmasic, Jose Cruz, Gaylord Perry. I already had that card, but pretty good player. Got a 74 Pirates checklist. Chico Fernandez from 1960. Jim Plunkett. I wonder if that guy is special since it's in a penny sleeve. I don't recognize the name. Next we have Ted Kubiak, Paul Mitchell, Larry Brown from, is that 68? Yeah, that's 68. It's pretty good condition. Certainly miscut, but the okay, that corner is pretty poor. Fran Healy, Don McCauley, Manny Trio, Joe Pepitone. I would say any of these players that are people that I've heard of are certainly worthwhile. Carl Morton, Paul Popovich, 72. Got another 60 tops. Wally Moon, although that one's got a pretty bad crease in it. We've got 72 of Mike Fiore. A couple upside down here. We've got Ken Holtzman, Don Kirkwood, Bill Bonham, Pete Broberg. Was he the first DH in baseball? That name seems familiar. Let's see, we've got, no, he was a former Ranger. That's why I recognize the name. 74 Brewers checklist. John Donaldson, 68. Wayne Simpson. Stan Swanson. Definitely don't want to get a picture of the cap there. Must have been traded. Jim Spencer, 71. Cesar Gutierrez. Also has a pretty bad crease on it from 1970. Bill Russell. Pretty good player. We've got our first basketball player, and that is Bobby Hunter from Nashville. Went to, he's a Harlem Globetrotter, and he went to Tennessee A&I. That is now known as Tennessee State University. So, look at that, a vintage Harlem Globetrotters card. What, is there a year on this one? Made by Fleer, but I don't see a year on that. Alright, so if it keeps going like these, then this is definitely going to be worth 20 bucks. We've got a Clyde Mashore, Ed Kranepool, Craig Swan, Bob Johnson, 1969, or 68, Jose Morales, Tony Canigliaro, a big name, I think. Willie Davis, another pretty big name, I think. Paul Splitorf, several here in a row that I recognize. Floyd Robinson. These are all going to keep being upside down, aren't they? Tom Bradley of the White Sox, back when they had red colors. 1961 rookie of Ed Rakow. Don Stanhouse. Felix Milan. Tom Haller. Pretty poor condition checklist. Jim Slayton. Sal Bando. Greg Terrian, Okichi. Charlie Sands. Buzz Capra. We got strikeout leaders, Sam McDowell, Mickey Lolich, and Bob Johnson. Have a Reggie Harrison, Bart Johnson, Tom Murphy. In pretty good shape, Alex Johnson. Mark Bellinger. Boyhood Photos of the Stars, Jim Fregosi. My mother-in-law was a fan of Jim Fregosi back then, so she'll like that one. Playing the accordion. Do you have any other baseball cards of someone playing an accordion? Maybe that's something we'll see in Stadium Club. So a Dolphins checklist. Ferguson Jenkins, back from his couple of successful years as a Ranger. Jim Northrup. Mike Corkins, one of the worst wrinkled cards in here is in a penny sleeve. Padres checklist, Ron Woods. Vita Blue. Really bad shape. I knew there were going to be lots of cards in bad shape in here. Tom Verizor. Don Strock quarterback. from 77. Billy Martin in action, and of course as a manager you're in action if you are yelling at the umpire, so good job there. We've got a 1980 Yaz. Rocky Blyer. Steve Stone, who went to the broadcast booth. Rennie Stinnett. Steve Blass disease, named after him. Brian Bashnagel. Another basketball card of Warren Davis, which team is the Tams? This is okay, I just don't know my early basketball players. Memphis, is that like the ABA team? I don't know. Got a Pete Rose, 78 record breaker. So 79 Rose right there. And then we have another 60s Al McBean from 66. Got a North Star of Fred Harvey. Mike Cosgrove. Hal McRae. Bo Rather. Jim Perry. And then we have an oversized card here of Tom Brewer. This is the one that felt larger than all the other cards. I didn't realize that cards from this year were, thinking this is like 56 or so. I didn't realize that they were slightly bigger. A little over halfway through the box, we've got a future star of Jesse Roscoe and Mike Scott. Both had pretty good careers. Here's a vintage Bowman of Mel. Who's that? Mel Horderlin, who's a senator. Tim McCarver, there's a pretty big name, mostly for what he's done as a broadcaster. Have an old Indians checklist. Orioles champions, is that Brooks Robinson maybe? Doesn't really... Probably not, because I don't see his name on here anywhere. So, oh, there's Brooks Robinson right there. Tommy Helms. Rick Ruschel had a pretty long career. Cy Acosta. Billy Ray Smith. Hall of Famer. One that I have 3 or 4 vintage cards from. And someone whose name is easy to butcher. I think I'm told it's Red Scheindienst. So let me know if I'm wrong with that. Eddie Watt. Bill Melton. The Red Sox. I don't know. Look for these special cards. Here's Pedro Borbon. Bob Grich, who was a Ranger for a while. Barry Foote. Daryl Cheney. Got a marked Braves checklist with Johnny Oates on it. Might as well look to see if Hank Aaron is on here too. Henry Aaron, is that who that is? Well, his name's on the back, so let's see. Ed Figueroa. Oscar Gamble, before he had the really large afro, I guess. Glenn Beckert. Cecil Upshaw, traded. Dennis Blair. Ron Fairley. Lee Lacey. Andy Hassler. Scipio Spinks. His hobby is playing chess. Brewers checklist with, I see Darrell Porter right there. Larry Boa. Ralph Garr. All right, one final handful out of this box. We've got a Bill Bonham. Merv Retmond, traded to the Reds. Ed Herman. Sonny Siebert. Dave Nelson. Jim Crawford. Phillies mark checklist. That one had the whole set, including Mike Schmidt. Here is a running back named Jim Kick. Makes sense if he was like a punter or a kicker. Tom Paciorek, Dan Ford, Rick Ruschel, Marty Perez, Duffy Dyer, Joe Keogh. Here is a Don Sutton. Of course, it's got a big fold in it, but seems like a very happy player. Norm Cash. Fortunately, that's not the picture of the time that he went up to bat against Nolan Ryan holding a table leg. Bill Berge, Norm Miller, Doug Griffin. Here is a Nordique, Don Money, Bump Will. Someone took a marker to that card a little bit. Ellis Valentine apparently had a really good career that was shortened by injuries. Jack Heidemann, Tom Walker, Tom Hilgendorf, Jim Slayton, Steve Braun, Mario Guerrero. We have here Yogi Berra and Roy Campanella on a, I guess that's a 75 card. Felix Millen, Dave Chalk, really miscut Lindy McDaniel, Mario Guerrero, and we're going to finish off with a Mike Tyson, not the boxer. Alright, so that is a box of about 200 throwback cards, included some couple Hall of Famers in there. I'm still waiting on one more envelope to finish this this video, and if there's nothing else added on to here, then we're just going to assume that I'm going to have to get a refund on that one. So we'll see. Today is Saturday the 12th of September, and it is the final package I've been waiting for to finish this video has finally come in today. I made the purchase on August 11th, and I can see on the shipping number here, they shipped it on August 12th, so it literally took the post office a month to get it here. So that is not the seller's fault, that is the post office's fault. And when I do as much business with the post office as I do, that happens every once in a while. And so let's see what we have got here. It's been so long since I've made this, it's been about a month that I don't even remember what all we have, but we've got a stack of cards here that are all in card savers. So let me see if I can take care of some of the tape that's on here. And so we've got a vintage Red Scheindienst on the front here. So that is a 1959. Obviously it's in all beat up shape. Soft corners, tiny little bit of creasing, but more scratching on the surface of that one. Next up, we have a Ted Williams as manager. I think I had the 71 and the 72 Ted Williams Senators manager, but this one is 1969, I think, on that one. Next up, we have 61 batting leaders. So we've got Roberto Clemente, Veda Pinson, Ken Boyer, and Wally Moon, who does not have a flattering photo right there. Next up, we have 64 strikeout leaders. That ink is on the outside of the card saver. So we've got the guy we don't know is the guy that is headlighting this card with Bob Veal. But we've got Bob Gibson and Don Drysdale down here on that. So this card's in pretty good shape. It's probably 80-20 off center, but this one has decent corners on it, so I'm pretty happy with the quality of that card. Next up, we've got Harmon Killebrew. From 1966. One of the things I like about Harmon Killebrew is he was a minor leaguer. I don't know if he played for the Chattanooga Lookouts or if he was a visiting player, but if you happen to have ever seen that stadium, it's still around, even though they haven't played there for a long time. It's a very old school ballpark that dates back to the early 1900s, and they have a center field wall that is 490 feet away from home plate that has an old-fashioned Coca-Cola mural painted on it, and Harmon Killebrew was the only player to ever hit one over that center field concrete fence that they've got there. Here we've got Don Newcomb. I didn't remember that he'd ever pitched for the Reds. Looks like this. It was only part of one season, but that's 59 Don Newcomb. Next up, two more cards left in this stack. Still got tape on the outsides of the penny sleeves. We've got Dick Williams, Orioles, and we've got, well, it looks like someone drew on the back of that card, so I don't know, they put the letter R on it, but the Texas Whirlwind here. And then our last card is, well, unfortunately it's got the description on top of the card loader, and I can't really see what it was, but this person originally paid $2.55 for this card. We've got Sal Magley, 59 tops, number 309, in poor condition. Lots of creases on there, but there we go. So definitely need to put this one back in the top loader it came from so that it doesn't get any worse than it already is. And I proceeded to drop it on the floor while I was putting it back in the top loader, but have no fear, it is now safe again in its top loader. All right. So that is, by now I think that was 5 different orders with many Vintage Hall of Famers on here. So thanks for watching. Bye.